it was cheaper than our rent for our apartment.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a no-brainer.
So we are on our way to see John and Allison Gunther today. I think they were in their mid-20s when they first purchased their home, and they've got a super interesting story to tell us. So I cannot wait to get over there and then get into this.
Hi, I'm Kara Sullivan. I'm your host for Under 30 Homebuyer, and today we're here with Allison and John Gunther. Hi, John. Hi, Allison.
Hey.
Hi. Thank you guys so much for letting us come invade your space, lock your cats up, get your kid out of the house. So obviously I know you guys, but our audience does not. So can you tell us a little bit about you guys and what you do for a living?
So we're married, obviously. We've got one little 3-year-old boy who keeps our energy going. I work in human services, so like in the foster care realm of things.
I work in IT staffing, so I focus on helping organizations find the right contingent labor that they need, whether it's software developers or data analysts or anything like that. So I work a little bit more on the client side, on the sales side, just helping teams identify talent in the market and talk them through market conditions and identifying the right people. So
3-year-old boy.
Yes.
And
Expecting a little girl this summer, so yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love that for you guys. So what does a typical day in the life look like in this household? I know you guys both kind of work from home. So
Basically, ever since we got married, I feel like we've lived this work from home hybrid schedule because of COVID. So I travel some days a week, and he's pretty much here all the time. So we fight for office space at the table, and especially now that we have another room that's going to be a nursery, we're like, hey, where's everything going to go? So
I think we hit that work from home and marriage kind of point of contact very hard, because we got married in August of 2019, and then COVID hit, February, March of 2020. And we were living in an apartment at the time. So it was like, we really found out that this is the person I want to be with in my life, because we were stuck with each other 24/7 during COVID. So it was like
the ultimate test of marriage.
it was very pre-COVID work environment. We worked in an office 5 days a week, and we would be home for dinner on weekends and that kind of stuff. And COVID hit, and we were in a 2-bedroom apartment, and we were kind of trying to fight between the bedroom and the couch and how we could move between different meetings and who was having a meeting when and that kind of stuff.
So let's talk a little bit about that home buying journey. So we were living in an apartment and cramped, obviously, for space, working in the apartment. What was the
Maybe it would have, I really don't know what it was. I think it was cost comparison. We started to look at what our rent was.
You get married, and then you're like, oh, this is so great. How do we really jumpstart our life,
Right.
And you're like, what's the next big thing? Oh, okay, well, buying a house. And we knew that our lease was going to be up at some point that next year, and we were like, let's just do it, see what we find.
What did the approval process look like for you guys?
I had been with my job longer, I think it's what it was, and so it was like, okay, well, let's just do me, and then I don't know. But
I think the difference was your credit score. We both had fantastic credit scores, but yours was 10 points higher or something silly, because I had a car loan and she didn't have a car loan. I think that was the difference. And they said, well, if you're both on the loan, your percentage was 3.5 or something. Debt to income. Yeah. And then if it's just Allison that was on the loan, then your interest rate was 2.8.
So you just look at all the puzzle pieces, and you're like, okay, what makes the most sense? And then luckily working with somebody that we trust, that makes a big difference too, instead of it being something you don't know maybe and questioning more.
So so you guys did a 3% down conventional loan. Is that what it was?
That's correct.
Okay, so that got you less money to bring to the table.
Correct.
Which was, I guess, the deciding factor.
That was our plan, yes.
Yeah.
We thought it was 5%, but with conventional, I think first-time home buyers get 3%, right?
Yes, they have a program for 3% when you have a fantastic credit score. So you go, girlfriend.
It was a strategic play, because the next house when we upgrade, I'll be a first-time home buyer, right? Is that how that would work? Who knows? We'll figure it out when we get there.
Last weekend, a couple years.
So
she's a master saver.
Yeah.
Love that.
I grew up in a super frugal household. Every penny means something, which is a really great life lesson.
Yes.
Yeah. So luckily, I had a pretty large savings, but we had to pay for most of our wedding, like ourselves. So that was like, took a really big dip, you know, out of our financial stability, I guess. After that, I guess we just tried to do what we could. Like, you were eating egg sandwiches,
for
you
lunch.
know,
Yeah, it was
for like
cheaper. I did the math. I could just toast some bread and make eggs and cheese. It was like $1 or something a meal. Okay, it's time to be an adult. What's the next step? Like, I didn't want to rent for forever.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that we were set. You know, I'm a golf guy, so I love grass. So I wanted grass to cut and that kind of stuff. So it was like, okay,
owning something feels really good, you know?
Yeah, I was like, we'd go out to dinner. It's like, all right, we don't have to get 2 separate meals. We can, split one meal and we can share it.
And we still do that.
We still do that to this
nachos,
day.
really.
Did you have like a price in mind? Were you like spot on when you got the approval and like the payment amount, or was it like a sticker shock? How did that feel?
I don't remember like talking a number budget for like a house. I think we were very open to what are we going to be approved for, and then let's just base what we're thinking off of that. That way you're not like set up for like failure mindset almost. Yeah. Because I think we truly would have been like happy with almost anything.
Sure. Outside of an apartment. I remember looking for a home, we'd go on Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever. Like everybody does, right? Your neighbor's selling their house, you go look at what their closet is on all the pictures, you know?
Right.
But, when we were in an apartment, it was like, okay, where do we want to live? We'd look online, they've got the payment calculators, which are just a guesstimate, right?
Of course.
You don't really truly know what the property taxes are. You don't know what your approved rate's going to be. So, I think looking at that and kind of estimating, what our price range was a good starting point. That way, when we actually talked to a lender and it was like, okay, here's what your rate is.
Yeah.
Here's what your monthly payment would truly look like. That way you can kind of come into it mentally prepared.
Yeah.
It's
like you
easy.
have your favorite features checklist and you're like, okay, well, we definitely want these things to be able to function well, like caring about whatever community you're going to be in, like what kind of neighborhood, like some of the basic stuff. And then once you kind of do some of that initial research, then you get, the number that you're approved for and you're like, okay, like this matches.
Right.
Let's go to the next step.
What did house hunting look like for you guys for COVID?
Yeah, we went and saw several houses, and I feel like they were also different too.
When it
like,
was weird because you had to take off your shoes and hand
yes,
sanitizer
hand
before we went in.
sanitizer. Some places they were like, maybe you should mask up, and you're like, what do we,
Nobody's home. Yeah,
everybody's different,
Yeah.
what preferences. Yeah, so that was like interesting.
How did that even happen?
I know.
So the market's different, right? COVID, we were looking at multiple offers. Obviously, everything was a bidding war. Everything was going over asking, paying above appraised values. What would you like say to a buyer in today's market where it's more of a buyer's market, but interest rates are higher and prices are higher?
Marry the house, date the rate. Because
Thank
interest
you.
rates, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm here for you. Interest rates are always flexible, right? They always change. I mean, they are a little bit higher than now. I mean, we're very blessed with a very low interest rate. But, everybody in 2020 paused, right? They didn't buy it. We'll wait till 2021.
Right.
House prices went up. You keep waiting and waiting, right? And it keeps getting more and more expensive. Pull the trigger. If you find a house that you're comfortable with, maybe it needs a little bit of TLC, whether that's, redoing the floors. I mean, the amount of things we've done in this house is crazy, but you can always refinance should things change. Markets change all the time. So just go into that mindset of like, things could change in the next year. Interest rates could totally drop. God forbid we have another COVID, you never know. And you could refinance then. There's a ton of people that did that.
Right.
So
you did have to go over asking. You did have to pay all of your closing costs. So every market is going to be different. Like as a buyer or as a seller, whatever it may be at that point in time, you're going to have to give somewhere.
right.
So
Definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah, we had to, we paid our closing costs. We offered to pay the seller's closing costs. And they rented the house from us for a month.
Your house also did not appraise for what we were under contract for.
Yeah, no.
So that was another thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think you guys were one of the fortunate ones where the seller actually agreed to come down, which during that period, a lot of people had to pay over what the appraised value was.
That's what I think that was my one fear of buying a home was we would make an offer the appraisal would come in for much less. And then they would go, well, you're either going to pay out of pocket or we'll move on.
Oh, yeah.
So there is that ambiguous, scary side of it.
And I mean, I know I've already said it, but this house is just so perfect for you guys. You guys put so many finishing touches on this home. What have you done? I know you're both handy, honestly. So what all have you guys done to
She's
this
the
house?
design and the color. I'm the muscle behind it kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, even before, like when we were married or when we were getting married, we were dating, we always bonded over like DIY, flipper channel shows, home renovation shows.
Join
and
gang.
Join a gang, of course. So we always bonded over that, and that was a dream of ours. Like when we get home, what can we do to it to make our own?
Yeah.
So it was like, I think the first thing we did was we did shiplap on our island bar in the kitchen, and that was like very small. I mean, it's like
the half
7 feet
and
by
then we
4
decided
feet.
to do our entry wall, same shiplap plan. So we were like, okay, let's go bigger.
Yeah, we'll do that. And that was, I mean, you can buy the real shiplap. It gets expensive. I think what we did was I got, what are they, like the 6x8 particle board or and just cut them in like 6-inch strips and then put spacers in. If you look too close, you could probably tell it what it is, but from a distance, it looks like real shiplap. So we did that. We did our dining room.
An accent wall in our dining room. We did our son's nursery. There's an accent wall in there.
Yeah. Most recent project was our kitchen.
Our kitchen. We redid all the floors, and we didn't redo the floors. We paid somebody to do that, but just all the floors are new.
That was a process. Watching your floors get redone.
I
remember because it was interesting. It's like in our dining room and our living room are carpet. The entryway was a wood slab, like little pieces of wood. The hallway was laminate floor, and then the bathroom was tile. So it was like if you stood in our living room and you looked at our bathroom, it was like there's 4 different floors that you're looking at. So it's it didn't look horrible, but we changed the floors, we redid the carpet, which was very nice.
And our most recent project was redoing the kitchen. So that was just
world of change.
It's been so different.
I understand the bonding over interior design because you're both just so good at it. Like, I love seeing what you guys do. I'm like, what's this project?
I will say
the nursery.
It's true. And when it comes to home projects, I mean, it's intimidating, but you're gonna make mistakes. People just try something. Try the smallest thing. Different paint, something simple. Work your way up. YouTube is your best friend.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've put under cabinet lighting in. The only thing I didn't do at our kitchen was the countertops because I can't cut and install countertops. But I cut up the old backsplash, put a whole new backsplash in. I'm not a contractor. It was YouTube, it was Google, it was ChatGPT, watching all sorts of videos, trial and error. Like, make it your own. Try cool new stuff.
Yeah, you save money that way, and just like little projects here and there. So like buying the house, it's not like we bought the house and every room was perfect.
Right.
You like inch away at it. And eventually it's what you want it to be.
Yeah.
So
you saw the vision and you just made it come to life.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. What advice would you guys give to this next generation of under 30 home buyers? What would you tell them in today's market?
How much time do you have?
I would just say like be hopeful. Don't let the numbers be like the one thing that stops you. Like be willing to do the research on your own. Find a realtor that you trust. Like start having the conversations because then you can puzzle piece your way into having a home that you love, you know?
Right.
Don't be scared to make some sacrifices that, give you the jump start to something beautiful in life,
Just ask questions. I mean, save now is the best advice I can give anybody. I mean, thank God for you. I mean, save. It's so important. Just save, kind of prepare for yourself because you're only going to help future you. And have conversations with your friends who may have homes or your parents and what they've done. Trusted realtors that you know around the area. Just talk to them. Like, what does this process really look like? Because I think on the outside looking in, it is scary and it's very ambiguous of what goes on behind the curtain. But the more knowledge you have, the more power you have. So it's important to do your research, have conversations, go out and look at things, look at different houses, try to picture yourself there. Play with numbers and what you're willing to sacrifice, and that would be my advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for having us here today and letting us come tour your house. I'm so happy that I got to see you guys. I get to see everything you've done in that kitchen. Oh, I love the kitchen. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you know anybody that was an under 30 home buyer that would like to be on our show, please have them leave a comment.